What's up, guys? Trainer Mike here at the Bodybuilding.com corporate headquarters, the Bodybuilding.com gym, getting on your Flex Friday workout of the week. And today we have leg day. So for all you guys that are always like, Trainer Mike, when's leg day, bro? You even lift legs, bro? It's today. It's going down. High volume leg day. So as a reminder, for those of you that have been following along, you know that I'm doing kind of a different workout split right now. This is more of my improvement or off season. So it gives me the opportunity to work on some different things. And so my current split is legs, upper body push, and upper body pull. And each week I do that split 2 times. And one day is heavy and one day is light. So the heavy day, obviously lower reps, the light day, higher reps. And on the light days, we get to focus a little more on angles and playing around with some fun, different exercises that give us an opportunity to focus a little differently. So we're gonna get started on this leg day today. We got a little bit of a warm up in, got the pre-workout meal in, got the pre-workout in, and we're ready to go. And that pre-workout's like starting to hit me right now. Perfect timing, right? You just start to itch a little bit, start to get a little antsy right as you're about ready to get into squats. So I've got all my leg day essentials. We got the Converse on, gotta have them. You've got the knee sleeves on, always like to have those. I've got my abnormally short shorts on, gotta have those. Long sleeve is a must, and of course the headband of Gains. I'm also gonna belt up for these. Probably don't need to, but I do like to have a belt to use for any kind of squatting when I feel like I'm pushing myself. So we're going 4 sets, 10 to 15 reps. To start with our heels elevated here. We're gonna try and focus a little more on the quads and really good depth. So with that being said, let's dive right into it. Not a bunch of weight. Today's not about weight, it's lighter weight. So here we go. Boom. First set of squats, always wake you up a little bit, get that heart rate going.
Hey Trainer Mike, what are your thoughts on doing squats, deadlifts, and lunges in the same workout?
So what are my thoughts on doing squats, deadlifts, and lunges in the same workout? We're doing it today, but you have to be careful. So do you want to do heavy squats followed by heavy deadlifts? No, I would not recommend that. But we're gonna do squats followed by a dumbbell RDL today, where we're not going too heavy, so we'll save our lower back.
I need some help with proteins. Which one is the right one for me?
Need some help with protein, which one's the right one? You know, the thing about protein, guys, it depends on what your goals are, but for most people, if your budget will allow, I recommend a hydrolyzed whey protein isolate. But that said, you know, maybe you're trying to put on a little more size, you need the calories of like a mass gainer, there's nothing wrong with that. Do I ever do a deload week? Yes, and I hate it. But I usually try and plan deload weeks around travel, so it's not super structured, but if I know I'm gonna be out of town for 4 or 5 days, I'll deload then. It drives me crazy to try and deload like on a perfect week when I'm at home and I can train hard. All right, guys, set 2, put on another 20 pounds. Still shooting for that 10 to 15 rep range here. Let's go. Set 2 of 4. Boom. Stop it at 10 there, keep our form. Gets the heart rate up. Good thing about leg day, really no need to do cardio after a day like today. What purpose does the belt serve? The belt helps to create abdominal pressure. And when you create more pressure in your abdomen, it helps to protect your lower back and spine. So as you take a big breath in and brace your midsection against that belt, helps to create pressure and protect your lower back. Is squatting below parallel going to hurt your knees? You tell me, does it hurt your knees? If it hurts your knees, don't do it. But most people can squat below parallel and their knees are okay as long as they're distributing their weight properly on the mid to heel of the foot. That is, it is a Superman belt. So yes, I'm drawing on the strength of my inner superhero to get the most gains for this leg day.
What did you take for your pre-workout?
Pre-workout meal, I had 160 grams jasmine rice, 5.5 ounces of chicken, some broccoli, just sriracha and sea salt this season, and then a pre-workout drink. I had a scoop of Dymatize hand-spun cotton candy Pre-Wo. All right, guys, set 3. These are a grinder. You feel a lot of lower back, a lot of core working in the front squat. So squat Monday, we squatted heavy back squats. So today, lighter on the front squats. Here we go. Couple different ways you can approach the front squat in terms of how you place it. I'm doing the rack position, which is where you grab with your hands and drive your elbows up. Some people place it on their shoulders, cross their arms and put their elbows up. Either way works. I like the rack position if you have the wrist flexibility to do it. How long did I warm up before I started? How long should I have warmed up before I started? 15 minutes. Today, it's a little tight. I only got about 5 minutes in. But I always like to do some active dynamic stretching to warm up the hip flexors, calves, hamstrings, never static stretch before lifting, and ideally some foam rolling as well on the lower body. All right, somebody listened to my podcast and subscribed. Thank you, appreciate that. Yes, podcast number 1 just got uploaded. You guys can go to my Instagram page at TrainerMike1. I've got the link there in my bio, so we've got it on all platforms. Links going in the chat, thank you. Yeah, my wife and I we started a podcast, so a lot of you guys were asking that, and the funny thing is, I get asked a lot of questions about nutrition, and she does all my nutrition, so all the cooking, she's really the one you want to ask. The difference between BCAAs and essential amino acids, EAAs. Branched chain aminos are good for in-between meals. Good water flavoring, but also help to stave off catabolism. Essential amino acids are best for training that lasts longer than 60 minutes. So hard sessions, like a leg day, and if you're going longer than 60 minutes, I recommend essential amino acids. All right, last set of 10. It's gonna be a tough one here, guys. We're gonna make it happen. Here we go. Push, dig, grind, whatever you wanna call it. Let's go, last set, best set. Woo! Guys, start getting up into the 10 plus rep range on legs. That's a lot of cardio. Definitely good way to start out a high volume leg day. Catch breath here, and we're gonna move on. So primarily they're hitting quads. We're gonna move on to hamstrings next. We're gonna target that right over here with some dumbbell Romanian deadlifts. But first, gotta catch that breath.
Mike, if I'm having trouble putting on muscle, what tips do you have to help me?
So if you're having trouble putting on muscle, what tips do I have to help you? It's all about food, it really is. You have to eat consistently more calories than you're burning, and the only way to do that, to track that, is to track your weight, track your body fat. If you're having trouble with it, getting enough food in, try a mass gainer. Okay, a mass gainer shake can be perfect for you if you're having trouble getting enough calories in. Okay, we're gonna grab some dumbbells. We'll go right there for some Romanian deadlifts. This will be great for our hamstrings. So we're gonna start off with about 70 pounds for these guys. Gotta keep in mind that the hamstrings, they get work in a squat, but with the way that we did the squat, we used a lot of quads. So now we'll focus on hamstrings. Sometimes just grabbing the weight and moving it is half the battle. But here we're gonna go with our toes elevated, slight bend in the knees to try and get the most out of this exercise for our hamstrings. So here we go. Toes elevated, nice and slow. Again, getting the heart rate up. Big stretch in the hamstrings there. Great exercise for the back of the legs.
I'm looking to add size. How many times a week should I train legs?
If you're looking to add size, how many times a week should you train legs? I would say twice. You know, legs, not only for the sheer purpose of developing great legs are important, but also because your legs, you know, they're one of your larger muscle groups. And the more you can attack those large muscle groups, the more testosterone and growth hormone you'll release, which will help you grow other areas of your body. Do I consume carbs around my workouts? Yes. Pre-workout meal always has carbs, about 50 grams. And I always like to do about 50 grams in post-workout meal as well. Why is the gym so quiet? Guys, we're at the Bodybuilding.com offices. So people are working. They're making magic happen all up there and out there. So that's the main reason why a lot of people here train before or after their day of work. So most people are working and we get to train. Pretty cool. How heavy should you go on stiff-legged deadlifts? You know, pick a weight that you can get a really good stretch in. Our focus today is not weight. Our focus today is the quality of the reps. So I'd pick a weight that you could do no more than about 18 of and shoot for 14 or 15 quality reps. Okay, here we go, set 2. The other thing you'll notice here is we are not resting at the top. I see a lot of people make the mistake of resting at the top of a stiff-legged deadlift. We're coming to the top of our movement and going right back down to keep the tension on the hamstrings at all times.
Going back to front squats, how can I increase wrist mobility for the front rack?
How can you increase wrist mobility to better get in the rack position on front squats? There's a lot of things you can do in just practicing that. So even if you're not lifting weights, just practice getting under the bar. It really comes down to, you can do stretches where you'll put your arm out and stretch out your forearms as well. That can be a good way to do that.
Why is the long sleeve shirt a must on leg day?
The long sleeve shirt is a must on leg day because obviously we're not getting an upper body pump, and we don't want to be distracted by how small our upper body looks without a pump. We want to focus on the legs. That's important. All right, guys. Set 3. Focusing on good quality stretch, contraction. Notice how slow I go on the way down. That's important as well. Lower back's feeling it. The hamstrings are definitely getting a lot of attention here, which is something that's super important. I'm not wearing the belt for my deadlifts because there's really not enough weight going down that I have a concern about protecting my lower back. You should really only use the belt when you have to. Squats tend to create a lot of that pressure, so you're gonna see more benefit from it there. It's a lighter weight, I don't need to. I wanna rely on my core as much as I can. In order to do that, I have to take off the belt. Is it possible to have a burger-based diet? I'd say I'm pretty close. I mean, I'm like 90% burger-based. Yeah, you could. You could. You just have to get really creative. Good question. Should I be squeezing my glutes at the top of this movement? No. You don't need to. This is not a real glute-based movement. Focus on your hamstrings. What that will do is it will give you an excuse to rest at the top. And that will take tension off the hamstrings. The focus for these lighter days is how can we really target that muscle group that we're trying to work, isolate it, and make sure we give it as much attention as we can. Okay, final set here. We've got Romanian deadlifts, toes elevated. Slam the weights down hard. It helps to improve gains. So we're done there with Romanian deadlifts. I don't know if you guys can tell I'm getting over a little bit of a cold. And every time you get going heavy on a, or going hard on a workout, it starts to work things out of you. So comment on the positive effects of doing legs on the rest of your body. What we're trying to do, the more damage you produce to muscle, the greater the need for your testosterone and your growth hormone to go up in the body to repair those. How much growth hormone and testosterone do we need to repair a tiny biceps muscle? Not much. But how much do we need to repair glutes and quads and hamstrings? A lot. So what you end up getting is the positive effects of those hormones on all areas of the body because they tend to go up. So what advice would I give somebody starting a cut? Take it slow, okay? One step at a time. You can't jump from, completely bulking to cutting overnight. You have to take it, one step at a time. I think that's really, really important. Don't overdo it. You'll shock your body too much and you'll be miserable. All right, guys, walking lunges are next. 3 sets of 20. So we're doing double lunges here. So we're going down and up twice with each one. We're going to go down for 10 steps and back for 10 steps. So for these, let's try and focus on making sure we don't rest at the top of the movement. We want to keep constant tension on the legs as we're doing these. So here we go. And turn around. Lunges are great. A lot of different benefits to lunges. You'll feel your heart rate go up. You'll feel glutes, hamstrings, quads all involved with this movement.
Is it better to cut weight first or build muscle first?
Is it better to cut weight first or build muscle first? It depends. Get your body fat taken. If you're a male and you're over 13 to 15%, try and cut down to 10%. Or maybe even a little below before you go on adding muscle. Females, if you're much over 24%, I'd try and cut down to 20, high teens before you work on adding muscle. How low do I go for lunges? You don't want to go all the way to the ground. You run the risk of whacking your knee on the ground, which is not a good thing. So, feel it out, but we're going maybe a couple inches off the ground. Don't take too long of a step. Try and get that nice angle coming straight down on each and every lunge. Okay, guys, time for set 2. Here we go. And right away back. Whew. 2 sets down, heart rate's up, legs are burning. This is a good leg workout. If lunges are uncomfortable, what are the alternatives? Anything single leg. Really, you try a split squat where you have one leg on the back of a bench, maybe even a single leg press. Those single leg movements will help to activate different muscle groups. It's really what we're trying to do here.
What are your thoughts on
Zercher squats or sissy squats? My thoughts on them? I think they're great if you have healthy knees and you're using a light load. The focus should not be on weight, but should be on range of motion and tempo for those. Take another swig, stay hydrated. You lose a lot of sweat on a lot of water on a leg day through sweat.
Can you show us how to do a leg pose?
Show you how to do a leg pose. The leg pose always has to start with a good old quad wobble, okay? So that's where you relax, let your quad wobble, and then you wait for it, bam! Hit that leg pose. It depends on what you're hitting, right? Boom! Maybe it's an ab and thigh coming from the side, dipping into it, seeing some hamstring there, and hitting a pose. Posing's fun, guys. Even if you don't do bodybuilding or anything, being able to hit some poses in between sets will help drive some blood in there and have some fun with it. But we're definitely gonna get that Flex Friday pose on after this workout as well. And you know it's a good leg workout when it gets kind of hard to pose. Your legs start kind of going numb a little bit. That's when you know it's coming in. All right, here we go. Final set. Double lunges. And turn around. Whew. Oh, there we go. 3 sets of 20 total steps there for the lunges. By now, you're feeling all parts of your legs, quads, hamstrings, glutes. We've given all of them a pretty good beat. So now we're gonna go and do leg extensions, 4 sets of 12 with a rest pause on sets 2 or on sets 3 and 4, so on our last 2 there. So now we move on to our isolation movements. We're done with more of our compound movements. It's time to really hammer home the quads here. It's not about weight. This one's about tempo, control, getting a good squeeze at the top of every single rep. So picking definitely a weight that we know we can control. I would encourage you to just see just how light can you go and still make it a very, very challenging set. So we'll start here for 12 reps. Pull yourself into the seat. Don't let your butt come off. Brace yourself. 12 quality reps. Two, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, I know you guys probably can't see it from there, but the quads are just twitching with every single rep. By this point in time, you should start seeing the different fibers in the quad come in with each and every rep. And as you're doing this, you're looking down there. I think there's something to be said for that. for actually watching how the quad is contracting with every rep that you perform. And what you'll notice is you'll start seeing the different fibers contract, and you can start making this connection, this mind-muscle connection with what's going on there. Am I trying to get a specific heart rate? No. I always track my heart rate just because I like to see where I'm at and I like to know the intensity at which I'm at. But I'm not trying to get a specific heart rate. I only do that on cardio. Are knee sleeves good for jogging? I wouldn't recommend it. I don't think there's really a whole lot of benefit to that. Okay, set 2, 12 reps. So I'm focusing on those legs twitching, those quads firing. Each and every rep, we're making that mind-muscle connection. Whew. There's no jerking, there's no momentum here. It's a very controlled rep each and every time. My thoughts on starting the workout with leg extensions, I think you can, occasionally, but in general, you want to save this for the end so you can save the majority of your energy for your things like squats and deadlifts. If you're doing it as a warm-up, I think there's a lot better warm-up exercises you could choose. Some good hip strengthening exercises. Depends on what part of the hip you're trying to strengthen, but you really want to strengthen the glutes. If that's your goal is probably to build more stability through your hips, which is done by increasing the activation of that glute medius. So walking lunges are great for that. Any kind of squatting can be great. Warm-up exercises, a simple floor bridge, hip circles, lateral movements are really good for that as well. All right, set 3, 12 reps. We're gonna rest for about 10 seconds. We're gonna try and get 6 more on this rest pause. Give it about 10 seconds. If you have a clock, it's always helpful. Stand up, let the blood start to recirculate a little bit. And we're going right in to 6 controlled reps. Woo! There it is. There is the leg burn with just a touch of lightheadedness. Always good. Good sign on a leg day. Make sure you get your water in, replenish. Any tips for what? Loading. Oh, any tips for bloating? Well, if you're looking for tips on how to get more bloated, I got a lot of those. Now, if you feel like you're struggling a lot with bloat, I'd first watch your fiber. Sometimes people, when they start trying to make more healthy choices, end up getting too much fiber in. So females, 25 to 27 grams of fiber a day, men, 30 to 35. You start, using a bunch of bars and things with a lot of fiber, doing a bunch of oatmeal, brown rice, veggies, you can easily get way too much in. So I'd watch your fiber first and foremost.
Is it okay to add a couple sets of high-volume push-ups to the end of a leg day, or is that overtraining?
Can you add a few sets of high-volume push-ups to the end of a leg day? Yeah. I would just say if you feel like you have the energy to do that, maybe you didn't work legs hard enough. I don't know that I get done with too many leg days and say, yeah, let's tackle some chest. I'm usually like, I'm gonna go throw up in the bathroom now. So just something to think about. All right, final set. Rest, pause here again, 12, 10-second break, 6 reps. Ah, 10-second break. Let that blood circulate a little bit. Get a couple deep breaths in. Wait for it, watch the clock. 10 seconds go by. 6 controlled reps. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, woo, buddy. Man, that is some good stuff right there. Let the blood come back to the brain. Then we're gonna go on with some leg curls here. So giving ourselves a little bit of break, we're gonna follow the same protocol now for hamstrings. So this is a total body, or total leg day. We're not just focusing on quads here. We're not just focusing on hamstrings. We're really trying to hit the total part of the legs here. So we'll move on next to a leg curl. Couple different options for this one. We have a machine over here. You can do like a seated leg curl, works for a lot of people. Some people have like a supine or a lying leg curl, that works too. Try and switch it up. There's really no just like one leg curl machine that you should always do. Let's try and pick multiple different kinds so we can make sure we're hitting the hamstrings from all angles. When are we getting a new headband? I ordered one. I ordered a new headband. So the new headband should be coming. I was waiting for one of you guys to send me one, but I guess nobody cares about my gains as much as I do. So don't worry, guys. I got it. I got it. Okay, here we go. Leg curl. Push yourself all the way back. A lot of people make the mistake here of pushing their hips up. So I'm going to push my hips all the way back. I'm going to flex my toes back. You have to flex your toes back to get maximum contraction out of the hamstrings. And then I'm going to push against the machine to keep myself back. When I start lifting my hips up, I stop taking all that pressure off the hamstrings. That's not what I want to do. So I'm going to push back. Eight, 9, 10, 11. Oh, squeeze with those toes flexed back. If you have not been doing your hamstring curls with your toes flexed back, you guys are missing out on the best hamstring activation that you can do. Should you do all your quad exercises together, or can you do quads and hamstrings? You do either one. Switch it up, you know? I mean, we could have very well supersetted these two if we weren't doing the rest pause on the 3rd and 4th set. You don't have to do them all together, you know? I would encourage you, you know, most leg movements involve legs as a whole, aside from a few isolation exercises. Very hard to do a whole leg day where you just do quads or just do hamstrings. You can try, but you're going to inevitably involve all those leg muscles. Okay, set 2, 12 reps. After this one, we go into our rest pause sets. Two, 3, 4, 5. 8, 9, 10. Oh, woo, buddy. There it is. Do a combination of seated hamstring curls and non-seated hamstring curls. The way the hamstring works when you have a bent hips as compared to straight hips is different, and it works different parts of the hamstring in a different way. Is it okay to train legs if you have soccer practice the next day? Yes. Eat right, hydrate right, sleep right, supplement right, recover right. You should be fine. I mean, guys, you're going to get sore after a leg day, but if you're debilitatingly sore, you did it wrong. Do I plan on interviewing people from the fitness industry in the future on my podcast? Absolutely. 100%. I think that's the only way you make it good is to bring, the whole thing is, our podcast is the fit couple's perspective. Yeah, it's our perspective, but we want other people's perspectives as well. So, 100%. Okay, rest pause here. 12 reps, rest for 10 seconds, 6 more. Let's go. Three. 4, 5, 8, 9. We're just gonna let it rest right here. 10 seconds. Catch your breath. Go 6 more, super controlled. Feel the hamstrings contract every single time. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on, 2 more. 1. Woo! There it is, about a minute rest. And then we do our next set, rest pause as well. We already worked our way through almost 20 ounces of water during this workout. Take sips, don't chug, but.
What are your top 3 essential supplements?
My top 3 essential supplements. That's a great question, and I tell you, this comes up like every single live. And it depends on the person, but in general, you gotta have a protein powder. I recommend a good hydrolyzed whey protein isolate, a good multivitamin, and or fish oil. I say those two kind of go hand in hand depending on what your needs are. And then probably close after that would be a branched chain amino acid. Don't forget your fish oils and your multivitamins, guys. A lot of people dive right into pre-workouts and amino acids and stuff, but you gotta have your micronutrients as well. Okay, final set, 12 reps, 10-second break, 6 more. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. You keep those hamstrings, or you keep those toes stretched back, and you feel a really good stretch in your hamstring. It will help you stretch your hamstrings better, which will in turn give you a better contraction. And 10 seconds is up. There it is, guys. Hamstrings are done. The rest pause. Now all we have left is calves. Don't forget about your calves. And I love working out calves here at BB.com because they got this cool little contraption over here. I'll show you guys for getting the best calf stretch on the Smith machine. I like the Smith machine for a few things, but one of the things I like it for is calves. I think it's a great tool for calves. We're gonna go 5 sets of 20 reps here. So it's not gonna take us a whole lot of weight. And quite honestly, calves should not be trained super, super heavy. They're a high volume. They respond very well to higher volume, higher reps, because that's how they work. So we're gonna do 20 good controlled reps here. We'll go 4 to 5 sets on this exercise. So big stretch, big contraction. There it is, 20. Starts off feeling really light, but it gets hard in a hurry.
Should my nutrition change if I plan on training at night?
Should your nutrition change if you plan on training at night? Yeah, you should plan for the majority of your carbohydrates to go around your training session. So in that case, I'm going to limit my carbs earlier on in the day, focus more on proteins, green leafy vegetables, and some healthy fats. And then at night, around my training session, focus my starchy carbohydrate intake. Okay, set 2, let's roll. Good burn there. Could easily put on a lot more weight, but we're trying to focus on that contraction there.
What are the benefits of creatine, and should I be taking it pre, intra, or post?
The benefits of creatine are many. Creatine will help you create a larger muscle and a stronger muscle. Hands down, research is there to prove it. I recommend creatine monohydrate, and for most people about 5 to 10 grams post-workout seems to be the easiest place to get it in, but it really doesn't matter. You can do pre, intra, after. It's one of those things that's accumulated over time. It's not like caffeine where you take it and get the benefit of it right then. You know, creatine has to build up in your bloodstream over several days, and then you see the benefit of it. Okay, set 3. We'll do 2 more sets here. Whew. Starts getting a nasty burn in there with that many reps, which is what you want on calves.
Do you like standing calf raises or seated calf raises?
Do I like standing or seated calf raises better? They both serve their place. And if you understand the biomechanics of, you know, and the anatomy of the muscles, you'll know that the seated calf raise and the standing calf raise work the calves completely differently. So it's not like one is better than the other. The calves actually originate above the knee, so whether that knee is bent or straight makes a big difference on how that calf contracts. Okay guys, last set. Here we go, high rep calf raise. 5, 2, 3, 4. Woo, there it is, guys. Leg day, high volume, Flex Friday leg day. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Give it a try. Try this leg workout, maybe even this weekend if you're brave, and hit us with a Flex Friday and tag me in it. You guys can hit me up on Instagram. That's at TrainerMike1. Follow along there. Check out my posts, my stories. You can check me out on Facebook at Trainer Mike Physique, on Body Space at Mr. Symmetry. Guys, I'm here to help you guys to answer your questions, but for now, we're tuning out. Podcast, yes, don't forget the podcast either, guys. You can check out the link in my bio on Instagram at Trainer Mike Physique. It's on Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, iTunes. It's the fit couples perspective. Search for it there. Can't miss it. A guy without a shirt on, smooching his wife. There it is, guys. Flex Friday, tuning out. Appreciate you guys. We're gonna hit you with one of these. Bam!